Mic test.
Sa yearbook yan. Sabi naman, di ba?
Good morning, everyone. Madam Secretariat, do we have a quorum?
Good morning, Madam Chair. Yes, we have a quorum with the attendance of the following BAC members. Maria Tay Guerrero, Chairperson. Attorney Mark John S. Palomar, Vice Chairperson. Attorney Maria Asuncion Yasmin de los Santos, Regular Member. Engineer Ray Nancy Parafina, Regular Member. Mr. Russell Cubabadilla, Regular Member. Attorney Rigel L. Kaabay, Regular Member. From PMO Panay Guimaras, Port Manager Alan M. Guerrero. And from PMO Bohol, representing Acting Port Manager John Gabriel Manansala, we have Ms. Irene Escloma. We also have in attendance the head members of the Secretariat, the head members of the Technical Working Group. On the part of prospective bidders, we have representatives from ICTSI, Mr. Jason Caraan, and we also have in attendance representatives from ICTSI attending via WebEx, Mr. Arthur Enerio, Marian Menes, and Gerard Langes. From PMO Panay Guimaras, we have Renard Bermejo and Alvin Cepino. And from observer from Visvero, Joey Lyson. We also have from from ICTSI as well, Mr. Voltaire Waikoko.
Thank you. Considering the foregoing, the BAC declares that there is a quorum. Head Office BAC PTMC number 17-2023 is hereby called to order. Madam Secretariat, what do we have scheduled today?
We have 3 items in our agenda, Madam Chair. First is the approval of minutes of the previous BAC meetings, HO-BAC-PTMC number 14-2023 dated November 13, 2023. HO-BAC-PTMC number 15-2023 dated November 15, 2023. HO-BAC-PTMC number 16-2023 dated November 17, 2023. Next is the pre-bid conference of the Port Terminal Management Contract for the Baseport Iloilo Commercial Port Complex. And third is a post-qualification report of the port terminal management contract for the clustered ports of Hagna, Tapal, Ubay, Talibon, and Getafe.
Let's go to the first item in the agenda, the approval of minutes of the previous BAC meeting.
Inquire whether we have included in the minutes the recommendation to clearly specify the non-exclusivity for ancillary services. Then I'm looking for the two meetings. If we can reflect.
For tiers 1, for Gensan and ICBT. So the minutes should state that the auxiliary services are not exclusive.
Exclusive, yes. Thank you.
Okay na? Madam Chair, I move for the approval of the minutes of the previous BAC meetings, HO-BAC-PTMC number 1014-2023 held last November 13, 2023. The minutes of HO-BAC-PTMC number 015-2023 held last November 15, 2023. And the minutes of HO-BAC-PTMC number 016-2023 held last November 17, 2023 as corrected.
It has been moved and seconded to approve the minutes of Head Office BAC PTMC number 014-2023 dated November 13, 2023, 015-2023 dated November 15, 2023, and 016-2023 dated November 17, 2023, subject to revisions or comments from the BAC members. Let's proceed to the next item in our agenda, the pre-bid conference. We will now be showing an audio-visual presentation on the port subject of the bidding for the information of the prospective bidders. PMO, please proceed with your presentation.
Philippine Ports Authority, Port Management Office, Panay, Guimaras. ICPC, a virtual tour. A brief information about the Iloilo Commercial Port Complex. The Iloilo Commercial Port Complex, or ICPC, is located in Lubok, La Paz, Iloilo City. The port serves Iloilo City and the entire Western Visayas. It is located in one of the country's safest and most natural harbors. ICPC currently has 3 berths, totaling 627.9 meters, and sits on an area of 23 hectares. The port still has potential for berth and yard expansion through additional development, introducing global best practices in port operations, and using modern, world-class equipment. ICPC can cater to a variety of commodities and products. The port is a multi-purpose, multi-user port. It caters to all types of cargo, bulk, break bulk, and containerized as well as roll-on roll-off vessels. The ICPC is licensed and designed to handle domestic and international containerized cargo. However, ICPC is currently lacking in modern equipment, and accordingly, the resulting low productivity prevents ICPC from maximizing yard and berth capacity. Furthermore, it prevents cargo owners from shipping directly to and from Iloilo and international origins, and from avoiding multiple and expensive handling of their containers. As a result, ICPC has not served international shipping lines or handled international containerized cargo, making it a severely underutilized investment. The aerial view of Iloilo Commercial Port Complex. That ends our presentation.
We will now be entertaining questions from the prospective bidders. Madam Secretariat?
For the bidding of the port terminal management contract of the Baseport Iloilo Commercial Port Complex, the project was advertised in the Manila Times, posted in the PPA website, and at conspicuous places of the PPA premises on November 23, 2023. The concession period shall be for 25 years, and the total minimum fixed concession fee for the project from years 6 to 10 is 500 million pesos exclusive of all taxes. We'd like to ask the representative from the bidder if they have questions regarding the bid documents. Sir, you may occupy the... Wala pala.
Hi, good morning, everyone. My name is Jason from ICTSI. Oh, okay. Perfect. Pleasure to be with you all here in person in Iloilo. Happy to be here. My first question, if I can focus on the terms of reference first. My first question is with respect to the fixed concession fee from year 6 to 10. Can I just confirm that you are allowed to distribute the total concession fee on an annual basis, depending on how you would want to? Meaning, for example, if it's for example, right? If it's above 500 million, I can, let's say it's 550. It's 100 for the first 4 years and then 150 for year 5, for year 10. Is that allowed, or does it have to be a fixed annual amount straight?
TWG. Madam Chair, if I may, for the fixed annual concession fee for years 6 to 10, the minimum per year is 100 million.
Okay.
But if you are willing to add another one to the total, for example, what you said is 550 million, yes, you can do that.
Yeah.
As long as per year 6, 7, 8, 9, and
It's a
10,
minimum.
it's a minimum of 100 million.
Okay, understood. So we are allowed to distribute how we
Technical working group, can they go 100, 125, 100? Or it has to be, if they increase it on a year, they can't go lower than that for the preceding year?
No, sir. Yes, sir. They can go like that, 100, 125, 100, 125, and then 100. As long as per year, it's 100 million because we have no requirements regarding the minimum percentage increase per year.
Okay, I think that's clear. Thank you very much. And then with respect to the evaluation of that, since that's the bid parameter, if, for example, two bidders provide the same amount, what is the, how will the evaluation process go about? Is it, will the, how it's distributed between tier to 6 to 10 be considered, or is it a different process?
Madam Secretariat, we are following the procedure similar to that of the Procurement Act in case of a
Yes,
tie.
In case of a tie.
Yes, so considering the foregoing, the BAC will come up with guidelines with a procedure in order to break the tie. It would be it's either a toss coin or the drawing of lots. So a randomized method will be determined to break the tie.
Madam Chair, if I may. In addition, sir, to answer your question, the the criteria will be the total for 6 years to
Yeah.
10. So regardless of how you distribute it per
Okay.
year.
Okay, understood. My next question is on the variable fee for 6 years, 6 to 25. Can I just confirm that the 20% share applies only to the excess volume beyond the threshold, or does it apply to the total revenue of the operator?
Madam Chair, if I may, the variable fee of 20% will only apply to the excess of the 10% volume threshold.
Okay, thank you. And then for the purposes of determining that threshold, is it, since this is a multi-purpose terminal, right, that handles containers and general cargo, will the threshold determination be on an aggregated basis, meaning the sum of both, or will it be on the basis of a specific type of cargo?
It will be on the specific type of cargo. For example, the break bulk and then the bulk, and then if there are liquid bulk, and then container cargo.
Okay, understood. Thank you. Moving on, in terms of the draft contract, I think we note that the maintenance dredging is assumed to be responsibility of the operator. Can I just confirm that that is indeed the case? Maintenance dredging, at least for the key line of ICPC.
Madam Chair, if I may, are you asking if the maintenance dredging will be the responsibility of the winning bidder of
Yes.
the port? Yes. The
Okay.
maintenance dredging will be the responsibility of the port terminal management operator.
Okay.
Since this is a Tier 1 port.
Understood. Follow-up question to that is if PPA can provide data in terms of the frequency and the volume of dredging that it undertakes over the past 5 years, let's say. Yeah.
Madam Chair, if I may. Based on your question, based on the historical data, the ICPC, the maintenance dredging of ICPC
Ang aming DSD is 13 nautical miles southwest of ICPC.
Okay.
Yeah.
30.
13.
13, 13. Okay.
Yeah.
Nautical miles.
And the type of dredger, as per verification with our DSD, it's a 1 unit self-propelled grab type dredger.
Yeah.
So that's it. Only grab.
Grab type dredger. Okay. Okay. Okay, I'll just move on to the next questions. If my colleagues in the call have anything, please feel free to interject. And this is really more about the bid preparation in terms of compliance and making sure that we have a compliant bid. And apologies if this is actually our first time to do this, so apologies if these questions seem very simple. So I guess in terms of the format, right? Sections 13 and 14. The main technical bid document. I understand it has to be book-bound with index tabs and hardbound. Yes, book-bound, hardbound with index tabs. I note it will be a very thick document. So I just wanted, because of the appendices, the supporting documents required. Are we allowed to actually separate the technical bid with the appendices?
Your bid document should be book bound, including all the attachments and appendices. So
Can they have 2 volumes? Can they have 2 volumes for the technical submission? Multiple volumes for the technical submission.
Technical document volume 1.
Okay,
For each deal, dapat siya chronologically.
understood. Okay.
So there's no restriction that it be.
Hindi lang
Is there a restriction that it be 1 volume? So there's no restriction. The only requirement is that there is a technical submission and a financial submission, and both submissions be hardbound, bookbound, properly labeled with the stats. There's no restriction that it be chronologically paged.
Okay. So basically,
You have your option to give one thick document.
Yeah.
With
okay.
It has happened.
Okay, understood. But there are no, yeah, just for, I don't know, the book might break, right, if it's too thick. So I just want to make sure that we're allowed to have multiple volumes. Oh. Okay.
Baka mas madali nga yung multiple volumes.
Okay.
Properly labeled.
Okay. Thank you very much for the clarification. Sorry. In terms of the paging, does it have to be one-sided or back-to-back? One-sided. Okay. And then the bid, I know the envelopes itself have a labeling requirement in section 14, but does the book itself, the title of the book, does it have any labeling requirements? Okay. Is it, sorry, I must have missed that. Is it in, because I note that it's in section, at least in the instruction to bidders, it's in section 14. I see. Okay. Understood. So that's the, okay, that's for the book, not the envelope. Okay. Thank you for the clarification. Just a question in terms of the, there are documents that are required to be notarized, and also we are also required to provide a manager's check for the year 6 concession fee. How does that go about in terms of book binding? Do we need to literally book bind that, or can we attach it as an envelope?
Technical working group.
Actually, ang ginagawa nila, may paper na isa, and then ini-enclose nila doon, ina-attach nila doon sa blank paper yung check, and sealed yung envelope na
I see.
and then aside doon sa original check that you should include, you should also include a photocopy of the check in your
Okay.
technical proposal.
Understood. And then for the notarized documents, has to be part of it has to be book bound.
Yes, all of
Okay.
your documents should be book bound.
Okay, understood. Okay po. Okay. And then just going to the bid forms. Bid form 3, I think that's the statement of their last 5 years of contracts. Just a clarification, does that is it limited to existing contracts the bidder might have with PPA, or is it all encompassing terminal management cargo handling contracts? Yeah, and yeah, so that's the question. So
Madam Chair, yes, all existing contracts should be included in the list.
okay. And then just in addition to that, I note that there's a requirement to attach the notice of award and the contract itself for each contract. So just wanted to clarify if we need to attach the concession contracts for everything that we list down, or is it just for do we just need to attach the contract that meets the specified requirements in the bid, such as 10 years of experience for foreign and container and non-containerized cargo? And
All of the listed contracts you provided in the statement all should have attachments. Qualification is relevant. Dapat you should all your completed, ongoing, and awarded ko, but not yet started for terminal management the last 5 years.
okay, yeah. So okay, so I mean, just that's also why that's the context for my question about the multiple volumes and the MOOC binding. But are we actually required to provide all our contracts in the bid form, or can we just list down specific projects that we know will provide us with qualification? Okay, but I mean, just for context, we're a publicly listed company, so you will be aware of all our contracts. Are we required to put all of those contracts in all of those projects in the list, or are we allowed to just specify which contracts we put there, and then we'll attach the agreement that meets the qualification requirements?
Basta yung all of your port terminal management and cargo handling contracts should be stated in your statement, and with attached contracts and and notice of award, if any.
In this plan kasi ito, okay. Yeah. Okay. I think we should clarify. The back should discuss this later. This requirement was lifted from the general provisions of the Procurement Act. Kasi sa Procurement Act, may implications yung each and every ongoing contract regarding their capacity to engage, which is different yung purpose naman dito sa PTRMF dahil wala namang labas dito, kumikita yung mga projects na to. So with regards to that question, we will discuss that after the regular items on the agenda.
Okay.
And we will clarify.
Okay. Yeah, thank you very much. If there can be consideration for that, I think primarily because of confidentiality obligations with respect to our contracts outside of the PPA jurisdiction, and at the same time, administratively, given the tight timeline, it might be difficult for us to put together all our contracts in one submission. Okay. Thank you very much. Sorry. I think specific to bid form 7, key personnel, specifically, we just wanted to ask about the rationale for requiring for us to nominate a harbor master. Based on our assessment of the scope, it's not necessarily something that we need, but yeah, I would just like to understand.
Considering that ICPC is classified under Tier 1 port and berth management is among the core function of the terminal operator, we have required a harbor master
Okay.
in section 9.1A
Yes.
of the terms of reference.
Okay. Understood. So it's because of the Tier 1 classification. Okay, understood. So the purpose of the harbor master is to basically undertake the berth management function. Understood. Can we just clarify the specific responsibilities of the plant supervisor? Just from internal experience, we were not so sure what exactly this role will do.
Madam Chair, may I?
Yes, please. Go ahead po.
With regards to the responsibilities of the plant supervisor, he is tasked to maintain the existing power plant as well as monitoring of staff for the 24/7 duties, as well as he is in charge for the permit maintenance from the DNR. So seeing to it that the smoke emitted by the facility is within the standard, as well as permit coming from the DOLI for the manpower qualification, and also the maintenance of one mechanical engineer for the purpose that the equipment is more than 500 kVA, sir.
Okay. So Sir Alan, the Mr. Rojo, it's really more to manage the power station. Is that right?
Yes, po, sir.
Thank you very much. And then just a clarification, apologies for jumping topics. For under the instruction to bidders, there's a requirement for a bid security. I note that there's no standard template, so I assume that's okay. But in terms of the amount, I just want to make sure that I understand this correctly. It's the minimum concession fee plus the port development cost that we propose to undertake in the port development plan. The port development cost is that specific meaning for the first 2 years, or is it for the entire contract? In terms of just quantifying how much of the bid security we actually need to put.
Madam Chair, if I may. So the bid security, the amount of the bid security required is the year 6, the minimum concession fee for year 6 to
Yep.
5.
Yep.
I see 6 to 10,
So
plus the estimated cost of port development as attached to your bid docs
for the entire
for
contract.
the entire 25-year contract.
Okay, so total capex for 25 years. Thank you. And then I guess moving back to the bid form. Sorry, which one is this? Bid form 5, the infrastructure contracts. So understand that this is basically infrastructure contracts, and we are also required to provide all contracts with respect to being able to justify or at least illustrate that our nominated entity will have the capability to undertake similar works. So I think there's similar request there is if you could, similar to bid form 3, is if you could consider that we only indicate the contracts that actually help us qualify for that specific requirement. So that's section B, technical eligibility, item 6, experience in undertaking similar rehabilitation and construction work.
That it will be included in our discussion later by the back.
And then with respect to the port workers retirement and separation fund in the draft contract. Can I just understand that this only applies to that we are required to put this fund with respect to the employees that we will hire as the operator of ICPC, or does it also involve employees by the current operator?
Madam Chair, it will be all the port workers and staff of the ICPC operator.
Okay, so it excludes no responsibility with respect to
Mother company.
okay. No, I'm sorry. With respect to the current operator of the terminal.
No.
Only the qualified.
No, the qualified.
Only, yeah. And I understand that we are only required to absorb those that are qualified, right? Okay. So our obligations are limited to the people we absorb. Understood. Okay. Thank you very much for your time. Unless my colleagues have other questions, those are the primary questions of ICTSI.
Yes, please go ahead.
Hi, I'm Arthur Inario from ICTSI. In terms of with regard to the contract, the draft, the pro forma contract in the bid documents, we understand that certain revisions can still be done on it, correct? Sorry, do you want me to repeat that?
I think they heard it.
Okay.
Attorney Rachel. Okay.
It's posted. However, slow mo sa wala pong briefing. As long as all parties have picked it and the changes are. Okay, a draft contract was attached to the bid docs. However, it may be changed as long as the changes reflects what are provided for under the TOR, and in all changes, these are reviewed by the OGCC. So the answer is correct. It may be amended. It's a pro forma contract which may be corrected to reflect the terms of reference and any changes made on the AO.
Dapat before the bidding.
Thank you. So the changes can be had after the winning bidder is announced.
It should be finalized prior to the opening of bids. So similar to the any changes, it will be covered by a bid bulletin.
I think the primary concern there is in terms of implementation steps, right? Since this is a pro forma contract, that there.
With regards to contract, the entire bid docs in terms of reference is attached as a annex, and those are controlling with regards to the commitments to be provided under the contract.
Understood. So in terms of our submission, we will, unless there is a supplementary bid bulletin posted, we will have to assume that the draft contract here will be what it is, basically.
Yes, considering that the terms of reference is attached in toto to the contract.
Okay.
No further questions? You're good?
I'm personally good. Yes, I'm good. Thank you.
Tanongin mo yung mga... Ay, parang
Relevant dates.
Madam Secretariat?
Madam Chair, for the relevant dates,
No other prospective bidders?
no other prospective bidders, sir. For the relevant dates muna before the videos. For the relevant dates, please be informed that the last day for written queries is on December 7, 2023, not later than 5 p.m. However, only bidders who have already purchased the bid documents shall be replied to in writing. For the deadline for submission of bids, it's on December 18, 2023 at 9 a.m. and the bid opening is on December 18, 2023 at 10 a.m.
So December 7th.
AVP. Okay, as part of the pre-bid conference, the BAC has prepared some reminders to the bidders based on usual issues that were encountered during the previous biddings. Madam Secretariat, please proceed with the reminders to bidders.
Reminders to bidders. For PPA accreditation requirement, please be informed that the bidder must submit a valid certificate of accreditation issued by PPA for port terminal services or for all the core services included in the bidding. The bidder must also have at least 2 years' experience in providing port terminal management services / cargo handling services or other related port services, as indicated in completed and ongoing contracts. For Tier 1 ports, experience in operating a terminal that is similar or of greater size authorized cargo for a minimum of 10 years, experience in undertaking similar rehabilitation and construction works that it proposes to undertake as part of its port development plan. Conflict of interest. Any prospective bidder or observer who is in a conflict of interest situation contemplated in Article 2, Section 5I of PPA-AO No. 12-2018 shall likewise be prohibited and is deemed automatically disqualified from participation in any activity covered by these guidelines. Conflict of interest. A situation, as may be applicable, wherein a bidder and/or an observer has controlling shareholders in common with another bidder in the case of observers, received or has received any direct or indirect subsidy from any other bidder, has the same legal representative as that of another bidder for purposes of its bid, has relationship, directly or through third parties, that places it in a position to have access to information about or to influence the bid of another bidder or to influence the decisions of the approving authority regarding the bidding process, submits more than one bid in any bidding process, participated as a consultant of the authority in preparation and design of the port subject of the bidding, and is in situation in which the bidder/observer has a duty or responsibility to more than one person or organization involved in any bidding process. A prospective bidder must not be engaged in any business activity, whether primarily or otherwise, which will prevent it from properly and sufficiently discharging its contractual obligations under port terminal management contract to be awarded pursuant to these guidelines. This prohibition shall cover entities engaged in maritime transportation. For the information of everyone, the approving authority of the Port Terminal Management Contract is J. Daniel R. Santiago, General Manager. The HO-BAC-PTMC is composed of the following: Chairperson, Marietta I. Guerrero, Vice Chairperson, Attorney Mark John S. Palomar, Members, Attorney M. A. Hyasman H. De Los Santos, Attorney Rigel L. Cabay, Engineer Renand C. Parfina, Russell Q. Babadilla, Port Manager of the port subject of the selection. The technical working group is composed of the following: Head, Attorney Michi F. Manatad, Members, Jenaliza D. Rebong, Maria Luisa A. Cruz, Catherine R. Esto, Ryan Joseph F. Carino, Attorney Nina Suzette M. Mendoza. The HO-BAC-PTMC Secretariat includes: Head, Attorney Diane Steffi T. Gilliman, Assistant to the Head Secretariat, Gail M. Tabacaro. Minimum deliverables to be provided at the baseport: A. Anchorage/midstream operations, B. Ancillary and other related services, C. Bagging services, D. Berth management, E. Berthside operations, F. Container terminal management, G. Stevedoring service, H. Storage management, I. Waste and shore reception facility management, J. Water distribution services, K. Weighbridge facility. In addition to the yearly concession fee, a 20% variable fee shall be remitted by the PTMO if the actual traffic volume exceeded the volume threshold by 10%. The volume threshold for year 6 shall be based on the highest throughput for the last 5 years. The volume threshold shall thereafter be increased yearly based on the average percentage increase on traffic for contract years 1 to 5. For prescribed Philippine Contractors Accreditation Board license, large B, port, harbor, and offshore engineering of the prospective bidder or any of its partners, in case of joint venture, or the nominated entity who will undertake the development commitment under the Port Development Plan. For joint venture, they must present the joint venture agreement or duly notarized statements from potential joint venture and the letter of intent. Otherwise, each potential joint venture partner must purchase the bid documents separately. Each partner shall submit the legal and financial eligibility forms required under Section 17A4 of PPA-AO No. 12-2018. For determining compliance with the technical and financial eligibility requirements, the satisfaction of one of the joint venture partner or by the joint venture partners, whether singly or collectively, shall be considered sufficient. They shall be required also to present a duly executed joint venture agreement or a duly notarized statement from all the potential joint venture partners. In the absence of JVA or duly notarized statement, bids received from each of the potential joint venture partner shall be considered separately. In binding, the original and all copies of the bid shall be properly book-bound, hardbound, chronologically paged, and with index tabs. For concession fee, revenue share, for years 1 to 5, the PTMO shall remit to PPA a 20% share of its annual gross revenues from all sources, payable not later than the 5th day of the first month of every quarter without the need of demand. Fixed annual concession fee for years 6 to 10, the PTMO shall remit a fixed annual concession fee to the PPA for contract years 6 to 10 as submitted in its financial bid, payable not later than the 5th day of the first month of every quarter without the need of demand. Concession fee escalation for years 11 to 25, on year 11 and ever 3 years thereafter. The concession fee shall be increased based on the Consumer Price Index, CPI, adjustment factor using the formula in the terms of reference. The concession fee shall be payable not later than the 5th day of the first month of every quarter without the need of demand. The required amount of bid security shall be in accordance with the following schedule. Form of bid security, cash, cashier's check or manager's check. Amount of bid security, not less than the required minimum concession fee plus port development cost is 2%. Bank draft/guarantee or irrevocable letter of credit confirmed or authenticated by a universal or a commercial bank, if issued by a foreign bank, is 2% also. Surety bond, callable upon demand issued by the GSIS or PPA accredited insurance company, is 5%. For performance security, the required amount shall be equivalent to the total amount of the concession fee of the year for which the performance security is posted. The performance security shall be denominated in Philippine peso and posted in favor of PPA, which shall be forfeited by the PPA in any event it is established that the winning bidder is in default in any of its obligations under the port terminal management contract. In case of forfeiture by PPA of the performance security, the equivalent amount shall be replenished by the winning bidder. The required amounts and forms of performance security shall be in accordance with the following schedule. Form of performance security, cash, cashier's check, or manager's check, bank draft/guarantee or irrevocable letter of credit, surety bond, amount of performance security, equivalent to the amount of concession fee of the year for which the performance security is posted. In case the bidder is a corporation, the bidder should submit an original duly signed and notarized omnibus sworn statement with attached secretary's certificate showing that the affiant possesses the authority to submit the bid, represent and bid the corporation. There are minimum standard facilities that need to be maintained in the PTBs as provided under PPA guidelines. Should there be a need to obtain copies of said guidelines, kindly coordinate with the Secretariat. Thank you and have a great day.
Any other questions from the prospective bidder?
I just sorry, actually I do. I just two more. The volume thresholds for the variable fee from year 6 to 25. Do you delineate between domestic and foreign?
Madam Chair, if I may. Actually, the intention is to have ICPC exclusively for foreign vessels and foreign cargoes. If in year 6, ICPC still handles domestic, yes, we delineate the domestic and foreign cargoes since they have different tariff.
Understood. Okay. And sir, sorry about the dredging. What was the quantity that you mentioned? 450 was it? 25,000. Okay. All right. Sorry about that. Yes. Now I'm happy. Thank you. All right. Thank you very much, members of the BAC and the TWG. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thus ends the pre-bid conference portion of the agenda. The bidders who are, the observers who are attending the pre-bid conference will be removed from the online platform before we proceed to the post-qualification report.
If I may.
Yes, please.
Yeah, Madam Chair, I just would like to clarify. Did I hear it right? We only have one bidder for this. Lone bidder lang siya for this.
Well, we have yet to proceed with bidding. So far, only one entity has purchased the bid docs. We are not aware if during the opening of bids there will only be one bidder.
Okay, in the procurement law, is it indicated that one bidder is a failed bid or
No,
not?
well, first and foremost, this is not covered by the procurement law. This is covered by a PPA-AO. And the fact that only one bidder purchases and bids does not does not make the bid a failure.
Yeah, another comment is yung concern, although this is also indicated or practice already for the many years, yung concession fee which is fixed. Are we considering that if they provided higher than the minimum required by PPA, is that considered also as kumbaga, you have an edge because you have kung para bang highest bidder, this is awarded to the highest bidder? Kasi this is one of the concern in one of the hearings on one of the meetings at the Congress.
Okay, first and foremost, whether it be higher, whether it be the minimum bid, the the tariff remains the same. So the effect of a higher bid does not affect the tariffs being imposed. Considering that this is a concession fee, that is correct. We are awarding it to the highest bidder, but their bid does not affect the tariffs which are to be imposed.
Are they my apology for clarifying this, but are the tariffs considered the bid rate of the winning bidder?
No, there is a set tariff for each tier, so it is not affected by whatever the bidder makes. So we have a minimum bid. The tariffs remain the same, whatever the winning bid is. So the higher the bid does not mean the higher the tariff.
I just kasi in the past bids kasi it came out na much higher ang bid rates nangyari, di ba? It came out na much higher ang bid rates than the previous tariff rates.
Well, we are at the pre-bid conference portion of the process. So the questions which should be entertained at this time are questions regarding the terms of reference.
Yeah, okay.
So do you have any questions regarding the terms of reference?
Yun nga yung concession fee. Kasi concession fee, if it's mandated na concession fee at 500 million, of course, the bidder should recover that, will recover that, diba? So that would be part of consideration in their bid rates.
It should be a consideration, yes.
Yes, so the meaning if they would recover that, it would mean also increase in
No, that's incorrect. The tariff is set under tier 1 rates. So the idea that if they have a higher bid, they can apply for a higher tariff is incorrect. So as together with the terms of reference, if you've gone over the terms of reference, there is a set fee for the tariff. So they are to work with that fee and they give their bid. So it doesn't mean that there's a higher tariff, there's a higher bid, they can apply for a higher tariff. The tariff is set.
Yeah, okay, thanks. Ang ano lang, yung tariff that is being set by PPA is that
the tariff has the process in the approving of the tariff is different from the process of the bidding out of the ports. The tariff has already been published, has undergone the process of approval. It has undergone public consultation. It has undergone review by the board, and it has been approved and it has been published. That's why we're proceeding with the PTMRF under tier 1.
Okay. Okay, thanks.
Okay, so we're ending the pre-bid conference. Thank you for your interest and your participation. the observers for the pre-bid conference are now excused. Considering that, we will be proceeding to the post-qualification report, which is an internal back matter. Thank you.
Chair, before we go to the next, ay,
Madam President.
Madam President, before we proceed to the next item, I just want to confirm that in the TUR we issued, did we state there that ancillary service is not exclusive?